A dirt bike rider, a dirt bike rider, a dirt bike
Whoa, 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 whoa. Can we please kill the music? Editor, kill the music. What in the hell are you doing? Haven't you ever heard the term before you can go fast, you gotta look flash? This isn't it, man. I'm here to help. Okay? First of all, you got two different colors on. At least it's the same manufacturer, which I'll give you that. But you gotta match. Okay? Your boots are unbuckled. Looking at it now, you got two different manufactured boots. So don't do that. Your shirt's on backwards. But I'll give you props for the name you're repping. You know, the number's a pretty good name too. And lastly, your shirt's untucked. You gotta tuck that bad boy in. You know, we're not gonna be as cool as Jason Anderson. More than likely, never. So just tuck that bad boy in. All right? And then after you do that, listen to these 5 beginner tips on how to get into motocross. And let's get this video rolling. Boom. Is buying a used motorcycle. People that just start, whether you're male or female, into the sport, you don't need the newest and coolest, greatest technology because A, it's really expensive, and B, I'm going to assume that your skill level is not quite there. So you don't need to make a $10,000 investment and have the next factory edition or special edition, limited edition, whatever you want to call them, whatever the manufacturers are calling them nowadays. I would say buying a 5 to 6 year-old bike would still going to be great. It's going to be fuel injected, etc., depending upon what you decide to purchase. I personally recommend people, most adults at least, buying a 250F to start with because it's a bike that has plenty of oomph to it to where you can learn and improve on, but it's not so scary that you're going to whiskey throttle into the stands or hurt yourself. Whoa. And actually never want to ride because it's so fast. You could also buy an XR bike or some sort of a trail bike that is more tamed down, or you could even buy a 2-stroke 125. I personally think 2-stroke 250s are really hard to ride, especially when you're learning, because they make bottom end power whatsoever. It's all on top, so it's really hard to learn on. A 4-stroke is really easy to learn on just because of the way they make power. They make power throughout the majority of the ranges, low to mid to high. So I would recommend a 250F and a used one. Is probably the most important on my list is buying a high-end brand new helmet. All right, when you break a bone, calcium builds up and it becomes stronger, but when you hit your head, it makes it easier to get another concussion. So you need to have the newest and coolest, greatest thing as far as technology goes, because they've got these sort of cushions now in between the foam and the actual shell, and there's a lot of research and development going in. The new Fly Formula helmet, same thing with Alpine Star's new helmet, 60's new helmet, Shoei and Arai. They're top tier helmets, and it's very important to have an elite helmet because helmets are only designed to protect your head usually around once before the foam and the impact. I always throw my helmets away after I hit my head really hard, you know, or get a concussion. It did its job. It's like an airbag. You can't reuse an airbag. So anytime somebody tries to give you a hand-me-down helmet, just say no. Stay away. Say no. And it's got to be Snell, DOT approved, but all the new helmets have that. I know you're probably going to drop $600 to $800 for something, but that's the most important part of your equipment besides the bike. This is sort of a preference, at least my preference, but if I was starting out trying to tell somebody to just run premium gas, that sounds silly, but you don't want to be putting E85 in there, something else. Even race gas, 93 or 91, depending upon what gas station you guys have at your local, is all in all going to help the performance and the livelihood or the longevity of your motorcycle. So I would say running premium gas in your dirt bike is another really important one. Is ask people around at your local track. When you sign up, ask them. Figure out what direction the track goes. You don't want to go on the track backwards, head on, end up hurting somebody and hurting yourself, or doing the Doug Henry thing and just come off a single into a corner, but you're fifth gear pinned and you fly onto the highway or some stupid shit. Don't do that. Make sure you ask around and then take a lap slow. Even if you've been there 1,000 times, they might have just switched directions on one thing. So just take a lap slow. I've been an idiot before, and I've hurt myself and I've hurt others for overlooking this small yet very preventable mistake. My last one is looking over your bike before you ride. It sounds very simple, but it's going to keep you safe and it's going to keep your dirt bike healthy. If they had a health bar, you know, you want to make sure it's got oil in it. You want to make sure it's got gas in it. You want to make sure it's got antifreeze in it. You want to make sure the little gauges on your brake slaves have all got fluid in them. And obviously your spokes are tight. You know, you've got air in the tires. The chain is tensioned. Finger tight most of the bolts to make sure that they're not loose. You know, sprocket bolts. Make sure your brake pads are good. Just a quick 10-minute glance around the motorcycle. Even when I was racing, high-end mechanics, they would have these highlighters, which basically when they torque something, they would mark on the bolt and then on the frame so that if it moved, they could physically see like, hey, this bolt's not as tight as it used to be. So that's really helpful. I like doing that on my bike as well. So if you like this, thank you. If you didn't, well, there's that dislike button too. You know, hammer that down to your heart's content. And I'm going to continue putting out some content. If you've seen any of my rider tutorials, I think they're pretty good, but I also think I'm pretty cool too. Anyway, those are good. I'm going to have some more advanced tutorials coming up. And until next time, this is Johnny Hopper. Wait, I do have that sponsorship fund going on, guys, and I need help to get to around $500 to $1,000 before we start picking a winner. It's going to be a 250 rider, ideally in the Supercross coming up, but it could be a GNC off-road rider. It could be an enduro rider. You guys are the ones that are ultimately going to pick. I'm going to put some names together to see what you guys think, who's the most popular. And we've got Rob Beams giving away $60 grand for his year program to help this guy with mental preparation, fitness, recovery, all sorts of good stuff, nutrition. So we need to get that out there, all right? So help me fund that so that I can make that video so that we can give back to the community and help somebody achieve their dreams. Anyway, I keep just rambling on. I could do this all day. This is why I started a YouTube channel, because I like to hear myself talk. But it's time for me to quit. Time for you guys to click another video.
I never bothered with what my friends did. I just wanted to be a dirt